Good morning and happy Sunday to you on Atlanta News First Plus. I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of the First Alert forecast. We do, even though today's starting on a pretty quiet note, have quite a bit of weather to talk about, especially in the work week portion of the forecast as we get into the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well time period. We are talking about widespread heavy rain in the First Alert forecast. The type of rainfall and the duration of rainfall that can sometimes create some road and street flooding issues. So could occasionally be an issue, really beginning Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, then off and on through Thursday morning, and then gradually tapering off as we get into Thursday afternoon. So a lot to go over here. We're going to start with today. Obviously, it is Super Bowl Sunday, a day that so many have plans this afternoon, this evening, inside, outside. And weather is actually improving. In fact, we'll transition here, take a live look up north. This is up on Lake Lanier in Hall County. Gorgeous up there. Still a little cloudier in the city of Atlanta, but we will see more sunshine as we get deeper into our kind of late morning, though it's already 11:24, but we're seeing peaks of sunshine out there now as we transition over, but more so our afternoon forecast. That's when we're going to see the biggest jump in improvement in the overall condition out there with more sunshine, maybe not completely sunny, but more sunshine than what we have right now, and a lesser chance of rain. That rain chance already down less than 20%, and we're going to go down to about 0 through the rest of the day. And want to remind you, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can always give me a holler on YouTube or streaming. Atlanta News First is the account that we're on right now, or you can text me, 470-777-9263. That is 470-777-WANF. Much like you text a friend, family, loved one to shoot us a text about the forecast, and we can reply back there, or, of course, answer that through the duration of the stream. Right now, though, don't have any comments coming in. We have some folks watching, though. Again, thank you for tuning in on this, maybe not a beautiful start to our Sunday, though it's pretty nice up on Lake Lanier, but certainly could be worse. Current temperatures right now, actually cooler right now than we were at 6 o'clock this morning. We're down to 53 Rome, 63 in Atlanta, 68 in Griffin, 72 in Thomaston. We have a little front moving through. That's why we had a little bit of shower activity earlier this morning. Not all that much to write home about, but briefly heavy in some areas, especially, Sandy Springs, Roswell, up into Marietta. Had some heavy downpours move through this morning. No thunder nor any lightning, but brief heavy rain, and even some rain here at Atlanta News First. Only about a tenth of an inch, though, at the airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Nonetheless, the front not only bring us that rain chance, but also helping to shift around the forecast and bring us some slightly cooler weather back into the picture. Speaking of, yesterday we were in the mid-70s. Today, a few degrees cooler. Not much cooler, but technically a little tiny drop there thanks to this front. So our forecast heading into the afternoon, by noon we're going to bounce back here. We should be getting a new update in from the National Weather Service here pretty quickly. Portions of the area in the upper 60s, but some of us just in the mid 60s. Really depends on exactly where you are in the metro. Further north of Interstate 20, a little cooler. Along and south of Interstate 20, you will be a little bit warmer, especially as you get down into Fayette County, Pike, Spalding County, South Metro, probably already close to 70, as you just saw on the map. Whereas, neighborhoods further to the north will be in the low to mid 60s heading into the noon hour. Most of us back in the upper 60s and lower 70s as we get into the heart of the afternoon, and it will be a pretty nice Sunday across the board. Speaking of, we'll go ahead and pull out that grilling forecast here for you. Good day to grill out or just head to your favorite restaurant, sports bar. Get a load of the forecast. Nothing really to complain about today. I know it was kind of not the prettiest of starts this morning, but just want to drive home the point that conditions are already improving, and it's only going to get nicer as we get into the really pivotal time here, afternoon, more so 3, 4 p.m. as folks start, going to their destinations or lighting the pits or, if you're cooking brisket, probably did that last night, to be honest. But anyway, here is that grilling forecast. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70, south side, a low to mid 60s, north side by noon flat. Then by 3 p.m., upper 60s, lower 70s, our warmest point of the day, about 3:30, maybe top of the 4 o'clock hour. And then 6 p.m., of course, our days are getting a little longer and a little longer, so not quite the drop-off that you might expect, at least until or through the top of the 6 o'clock hour. But as we get into, 6:45, 7, that's when we'll start to see some more substantial cooling. And overall, tonight will be cooler than last night by a good 10 to 15 degrees across much of North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Now to the more impactful part of the first alert forecast. And again, good pause point here. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, give me a holler. You can ask those on one platform that we're streaming on. That is going to be our YouTube account, Atlanta News First. We'd love a like and a follow. You'd be alerted to streams just like this one. Or you can just text us, 470-777-WANF. That's 470-777-9263. All right, hour-by-hour forecast after the Super Bowl is wrapping up 11 p.m. tonight. We're still mostly dry. Monday morning, maybe a sprinkle or two. And I do think there's going to be some fog around, but not much real rain. Still a pretty decent Monday morning commute. And we'll take anything that we can get, right? After probably staying up late watching the Super Bowl tonight, the last thing you want to have to deal with is a rainy Monday morning commute. And thankfully, you won't have to. Heading into Monday afternoon. Temperatures by mid-afternoon, 3, 4 p.m. on our Monday, cooler than today. Another kind of step down into cooler weather. Today, a few degrees cooler than yesterday. Tomorrow, a handful of degrees cooler than today with lots of clouds. But as you can see on forecast radar here, not much rain. Maybe a few sprinkles. That's about it. Things do begin to change early Tuesday morning. Again, Tuesday is a first alert weather day. Here we are at 7 a.m., and we're waking up to scattered rain. So there will be some wet roadways around for the morning commute. Not a terrible commute, not an outright deluge, no lightning, no severe weather, anything like that, but probably some damp roads starting even during the Tuesday morning commute. Maybe a bit of a mid to late morning lull. The forecast model is really struggling with exactly, when rain stops and starts in specific communities, which is pretty normal, especially in this type of a pattern, 48 or so hours out. As we get into Tuesday afternoon, it's possible we're going to see rain ramp back up. The more recent data, again, a little bit drier for the evening commute. You may have noticed if you watched this morning, Atlanta News First, we peeled back that rain chance just a little bit. But we will continue to fine-tune that forecast. For now, Tuesday is still a first alert weather day. Though this model continues to trend drier and drier, the overall setup favors heavy rain for sure. But look at where it's kind of stuck. Here as we get into Tuesday afternoon and evening, at least through 7 p.m., rain is, individual storms are moving to the north and to the northeast, but this whole little line of torrential rain is only slowly moving to the south and east, and if it moves quicker, the rain will get here quicker. If it puts on the brakes, it'll take a little bit longer, probably until Tuesday night before the more significant rain arrives. And if it looks like the weather is going to improve from original forecast Tuesday, of course, we'll peel back that first alert weather day, and you can get those updates right here on streams like this one, Atlanta News First Plus, on Atlanta News First, and in the First Alert Weather app. All right, going deeper into our Tuesday evening and night, eventually the rain does get here, but it might not be until late Tuesday night. And because the rain is moving slow, because this is heavy rain, we are going to see some pretty heavy rainfall totals across the Northwest Metro, North Georgia, North Alabama. We could see some road flooding issues in parts of the area as early as Tuesday evening and night, but it just may not be in the core of the metro, maybe just north and west of the Atlanta News First viewing area. But regardless, the trend is for heavy rain to move in Wednesday morning. So the Wednesday morning commute continues to look fairly messy, with additional rounds of rain in the forecast Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, on into Thursday morning. It's not just a one-day thing here. Again, Tuesday, we've dropped a rain chance a little bit from when we spoke yesterday and from previous forecasts over the past 24 hours, as it looks like we're coming into focus with the fact that Wednesday into Thursday morning is going to feature the nastiest of the weather, the heaviest of the rain. And we're cooler as well. Still warmer than it should be. Temperatures upper 50s, lower 60s after today. So we're kind of gradually saying goodbye to the record-breaking or near record-breaking heat or warmth. And a hello to a much greater chance of rain and heavy rain at that. Caleb, Ethan, O'Leary, hello to you on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in for streaming and watching on Atlanta News First Plus on YouTube. If you're watching, excuse me, another good reason to have the rain. Pollen levels are pretty high. rain doesn't necessarily negate that once the rain stops, but at least while it's raining, and especially when it's raining heavily, it can help wash away some of that pollen and reduce it floating around in the air just a little bit. So cooler and wetter, and there is a risk of a few thunderstorms in the forecast as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, both including a likely chance of rain. That rain will be heavy at times, so days to keep an eye on the forecast. I do think that Wednesday morning's commute, Wednesday evening's commute, and Thursday morning's commute will probably be and include the worst of the weather across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. By the time all is said and done, Thursday night, Friday, Valentine's Day, we're wrapping this up and improving the forecast. Could still be a little bit of rain around Friday, but in general, we're wrapping this up. It looks like the second half of our Thursday. But between now and then, we're looking at widespread 3 to 5 inches of rain. Some could see even more than this. Keep in mind it is February. We've had a cold January. I know we've warmed up a little bit, but not too much of a green up just yet. Many of our grasses and shrubs and things like that are kind of dormant at the time. You know, if they're things that are deciduous and lose their leaves, they're not soaking up as much water. The soil likely very hard because of recent cold weather, and we've actually dried out a little bit as well. So a lot of this water, I think, is going to run off pretty quickly, especially where it pours for an extended period of time. So we could be dealing with some street and road flooding issues, especially Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That may linger off and on Wednesday into Thursday morning. And eventually we could, by Thursday, see some rises on area creeks and rivers, larger creeks and rivers. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that portion of the forecast. We'll continue to keep you updated as we continue. The First Alert Weather Team continues to fine-tune this pretty tricky weather setup. I want to thank you for tuning in, for streaming, for watching. About to record a video, much of the same stuff that we talked about right here, and putting it in the First Alert Weather app. So if you're just now tuning into the stream, it will still live even after it ends. You can always watch it back, or just wait for that to update, that little buzz from the First Alert Weather app here in your phone within a few minutes. Also, First Alert Meteorologist J.D. Disharoon will be streaming at 4:30 again tonight at 8 p.m. with Joy Lim Nakrin. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, and we do have a 6 o'clock, 6:30 on our Sunday newscast right here on Atlanta News First. If not, you can catch it 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW, and then tonight for the late news, Atlanta News First on WANF. Let's leave you with a pretty look up on Lake Lanier. Stunning up there. Still some clouds in the city of Atlanta, but we are gradually clearing out. And it does look like a pretty nice Super Bowl Sunday afternoon and evening ahead of widespread heavy rain. Back in the forecast this work week.